Star Wars Ahsoka Episode 4 was trash. The bad writing continues, and Sabine is quickly climbing the ranks of worst Star Wars characters ever. Here is my review for Episode 4. The ship is damaged, they can't communicate with anyone, and I can't help but notice how empowering Sabine's haircut is. There's just something about her hair which is just empowering. Ugh. I mean, my hair is shorter than her hair, but I mean, I'm not a female, if you know what I mean. I just want to be as empowering as her. Ahsoka lets Sabine know the stakes. They both really screwed up the situation. Ahsoka withheld vital information from Sabine. Sabine defied Ahsoka's orders and stole the map. Now the enemy has the map. They can find Thrawn, a new war will start, and Ahsoka lets Sabine know the best option is for no one to have the map. Sabine doesn't necessarily agree. She's hurtin' for a squirtin'. She just wants to go at it with Ezra like a couple horny wolves during mating season.
Hurtin' for a squirtin'?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, hurtin' for a squirtin'.
Hoe for show.
Yeah, I remember that girl. She was a hoe. For show.
And hey, I know this is a Disney Plus show, but this is Dave Filoni we're talking about. In addition to having an Ahsoka fetish, Dave Filoni is a wolf sexual.
Better that than allowing Thrawn's return as heir to the Empire.
Roll credits.
Sabine. Can I count on you?
Count on her for what? What exactly? You can't count on her to be a Jedi. She's had no training and a lousy teacher. Can you count on her to use her battle experience to help? Sure, I think you can. She's a strong woman. She's proven herself. But why the question? They expand on this in the next scene. Ahsoka is asking if she's alright. She knows Sabine wants to be plowed by Ezra. Huyang is attacked and we have a droid fight. Filoni is ripping off the Terminator.
Dude is 25,000 years old, still kicking butt.
Hera decides it's a good idea to bring her green-haired SJW EU plagiarizing son along on the mission. It's extremely dangerous, but whatever. Shin and Marok find Ahsoka and Sabine in the forest. Sabine is wearing her Mandalorian armor, no lightsaber. She begins shooting at Shin. It's a different approach. I don't know why Shin was running from her, but when she stops being a little pussy and there was enough action to satisfy Dave Filoni's terrible written story, she defeats her easily with a force push. But don't worry, Sabine pulls out a lightsaber! Ahsoka battles Marok, cuts him down, and it looks like the leaks were real. Marok was smoke or something. I guess he's a product of Night Sister magic.
I don't know. Who cares?
I do care about all the clickbait going around. It is 100% disingenuous, clickbaiting Marok saying he's Starkiller. This is some Mike Zero bullshit, and Josh from Den of Shills is a little clickbait whore. And it just goes to show that the fans are more creative than the writers, more creative than Dave Filoni, the savior of Star Wars. Everyone wanted Marok to be something important. Not like the show would all of a sudden be good, but why not make him a communist Disney Plus version of Starkiller? These fake fans would love it! Fans like Josh from Den of Shills would jizz their pants. Let's go! Let's go! Why not make him Ezra? Why not make him something better than this Filoni garbage? But it doesn't matter. The YouTubers that clickbaited Starkiller will get away with it. Even if these Star Wars NPCs and Disney shills are disappointed, they'll still love it anyways.
Starkiller, Ezra, Barasafi, I thought he was the eighth brother for a while, but sometimes a story simply calls for a cool-looking henchman. Make him an Inquisitor, so I'm totally fine with Marok just being a brand new character.
Then what happens next is the worst part of the episode. Marok is dead, it's now 2-on-1. But Sabine tells Ahsoka, I got this, brah. And Ahsoka just leaves! She just leaves! Doesn't Ahsoka remember what happened last time? Sabine got Reva'd! Oh, but I guess one empowering haircut and 1 hour of Star Wars Episode 4 New Hope plagiarized training where she mostly complained is good enough to close the gap. Even Star Wars Explained thought this was dumb as hell.
She runs off, leaving her Padawan behind.
When I specifically asked you not to?
I think that's the big turning point for the episode. A lot of bad stuff could have been avoided if Ahsoka and Sabine followed Hu Yang's advice.
Why is Ahsoka rushing off to find the map? They have no idea how urgent the timing is on this. She's willing to let Sabine die. She must actually believe Sabine could get the job done. How could she come to that conclusion based on the last time and the lack of progression she's made? If they just fight her together, they'll take Shin out. Then they both can move toward the map. They don't know the urgency of the situation, but they do know Shin is with them in the forest. Starkiller was too. Does Ahsoka think Baylan Skoll is going to move ahead in the hyperspace ring without these two? That's his plan? Why would he leave 2 Filoni Dark Jedi behind when he doesn't have to? He obviously sent them there to find Ahsoka and Sabine and take care of them. He thought they'd kill them and come back and they'd go on this journey through time and space together. But no, Ahsoka ditches Sabine, basically leaving her to die because she's an idiot. Pays for that decision later. Another angle to this is Baylan Skoll's planning, which we've touched upon in a previous breakdown. Did Baylan Skoll really think Shin and Marrok would take out Ahsoka and Sabine? Sabine is really just there, just a body. It makes it 2-on-2, but she's Ahsoka's apprentice. That has to give her some street cred. She did put up a fight the first time against Shin, but the main issue is Ahsoka, trained by Anakin. Baylan Skoll knows she's powerful, but he doesn't feel it's necessary to assist the others in taking them out. This is life and death here. He's just leaving it to probability. They'll probably win. You need to stack the odds in your favor, 3-on-2, which is really 3-on-1 because Sabine sucks. At the very least, 2-on-2, Baylan and Shin, that's what's required to get this job done and get it done safely. What's he fucking around for? Why is he always sending Shin to her death? In episode 1, the supposed plan was to abduct Sabine, lure Ahsoka out, who they thought had the map, and Shin would have to fight Ahsoka and take the map from her, 1-on-1. How is she supposed to do that when this bitch can't even cut down Sabine? I can go on all day about Baylan Skoll's planning, but he's just a fictional, non-canon character that was retconned into the story. The real issue is Dave Filoni and his writing. Speaking of fictional non-canon characters that were retconned into the story, Ahsoka confronts Baylan Skoll. Baylan Skoll sort of reveals his ambitions, but he doesn't tell Ahsoka what the plan is. They engage in lightsaber combat, triggering the Andor fans. Tony Gilroy, he's better than George Lucas, and I don't like this lightsaber stuff. This one is light, but I just can't help but recognize all Filoni's plagiarism. Darth Vader swiping at Luke. Impact on object. Cut to another scene. This whole show is rehashed Star Wars. Disney Star Wars is obsessed with rocks. Back to Shin and Sabine. Shin disarms Sabine and knocks her down, basically winning that round. She defeats Sabine's Mandalorian style, defeats her Jedi style. This was hard to notice, but Sabine uses the Force to push Shin. You could hear a little noise and Sabine flinches her head back. It wasn't much, but this is the first time she's ever done this. How convenient.
You have no power.
At this point, Shin mocks her. I thought we'd get the Raid 2.0. I wanted to see it. I wanted to see how the fandom would react to this garbage, but we got Filoni'd. Sabine catches Shin off guard, disarms her, and all of a sudden Shin decides to run? Why didn't she force pull her lightsaber to her? Didn't she grab it on the way out? Sabine is not that much of a threat where you need to run away and lose your lightsaber. Why didn't she just force choke Sabine? She did it later in the episode. She just runs because of plots, because of Dave Filoni's terrible writing. We can't have Sabine die now. As bad as he is, even Filoni recognizes that a second Reva-ing wouldn't be a good idea. This duel is a joke. This is the second time Sabine should have been killed by Shin. And people are comparing this to George Lucas' Star Wars. It is fucking authentic. Ahsoka disconnects the map and burns her hand like an idiot. Then Shin shows up and Ahsoka is shocked. Oh my god, my apprentice Sabine! She's dead? She couldn't defeat Shin? I really thought that empowering haircut and 1 hour of training was enough to close the gap. Oh my god! Ahsoka gets big mad and takes out Shin. I guess she's knocked out. Sabine shows up, grabs the map. Ahsoka says, destroy it. Sabine doesn't do it. She never listens to her master. Baylan has a kill shot against Ahsoka, but decides to not use it. He'll just attack her lightsaber, and the kinetic energy pushes Ahsoka off the cliff. Baylan's skull talks to Sabine, tries to convince her. Why not force choke her here? Force push. Done! Shin, she's really knocked out right now? Why doesn't she attack Sabine from behind? She chokes her now after she gives Baylan the map. Why not earlier? She was unconscious the whole time? She just happens to regain consciousness at this exact moment? Dave Filoni is trash.
Shin, release her.
More plagiarism of Star Wars A New Hope.
Enough of this. Vader, release him.
As you wish.
The bad guys jump into light speed, some people die.
Mom? I've got a bad feeling.
I know they say this in every Star Wars movie, but fuck Dave Filoni. Green-haired SJW kid is going to do great in Rey's Jedi Order.
You almost died, kid. Of course you have a bad feeling.
This takes us to the ending. Ahsoka is in the world between worlds for some reason. A non-canon place that doesn't exist in George Lucas Star Wars. But hey, this is true to George Lucas Star Wars, everyone. And Anakin Skywalker shows up. See, Anakin's in it. This is George Lucas Star Wars, even though he was in the Kenobi show. That's not George Lucas Star Wars. This time they actually bothered to de-age Anakin Skywalker. Unlike Kenobi, he was a 40-year-old parading around as a 20-year-old. He's wearing his Revenge of the Sith clothes, not his Return of the Jedi clothes, and he doesn't appear to be a Force ghost. So some are speculating, is this really Anakin Skywalker? Now, I don't care, this is non-canon Disney garbage anyways, but if this is not actually Anakin Skywalker, I don't think this is going to be accepted well by the Filoni faithful in the Disney shills. Really a tease, you think you're getting Anakin Skywalker and you get something else. I don't know exactly where they're going with this, but time travel, the Mustafar leaks, I can guarantee it's not anything good. Star Wars Ahsoka Episode 4 was trash. Unfortunately, the Filoni faithful are latching on to this crap and using their influence to push it hard to the Star Wars fandom. Whether you accept the terrible writing, you like this show or not, whether you like some moments of Disney Star Wars, you need to realize at the end of the day that Disney Star Wars isn't Star Wars. Disney needs to pay for what they've done to this IP. Idiots like Dave Filoni aren't the savior of Star Wars. Anyone pushing him and promoting Disney Star Wars is a fake fan. I was really hoping we'd get Rey 2.0 in this episode. I wanted the fandom to see how terrible this show is. Filoni, still terrible, was not bad enough to give us Rey 2.0 in episode 4. But I do think it's coming. Sabine is not just going to be a side character that sort of taps into the Force at times. Maybe there will be a third matchup between her and Shin. If there is, the Rey powers are definitely coming out. Absurd power from no training from a being that lacks a sufficient amount of midichlorians. Make sure to become a knight and subscribe to the channel. I will continue to trash this show in our movement to avenge Star Wars.
The dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural.